All right, I am here with Paul Neon Cheon. What are you playing today?
Hold on. I am playing, it's right here, basically a fish deck.
Okay.
And the deck list was very similar to the one that was posted on Starseed. I don't remember who wrote the article, but you know, it's just the blue, black, white fish deck. Like, but you know, we thought that the power level of the cards wasn't strong enough, basically, because we expected a lot of fish play here.
Sure.
When we had the deck built, it just seemed underpowered for a format such as Legacy, and you know, like at this point, we didn't have too many other cards to change decks, so you know, we wanted something that had a little more bang, and that had a really good match up in the mirror, and you know, we instead of like Serum Visions, which I was never really all that impressed with, we added Shadow Mage Infiltrators and Chrome Moxes, obviously, to be able to. I always wanted Chrome Mox in this deck, anyways, because you have Dark Confidant, and any deck with Dark Confidant, should be able to get him out there turn one, because that's how you get maximum advantage out of him.
Yeah.
But and also being able to turn 2 Shadow Mages is also really strong.
Sure.
And so basically, we thought Fish was going to be a really big deck, and I was talking to a lot of the pros, and those guys, a lot of them were playing Fish, and we figured, we basically just wanted a deck that could beat Fish and Flash, and have an okay matchup against Threshold.
Yeah.
And I don't even know where this goes. Long day. So we decided to main deck 2 of Dalkin Shackles. But yeah, it's your standard Fish deck, but with the Dalkin Shackles, and we have 2 main deck. And Shadow Mage Infiltrator.
Well, I heard you were talking about the Shadow Mage before. I mean, was he like, is he being the MVP today?
He's been good, actually. He's won me several games. I mean, if you get him out there, like, I mean, if the games go that long, a lot of people think, oh man, Legacy turn 2, turn 3. But that's not the case. The only deck that can actually do that on a consistent basis is Flash. And, we have, ways to disrupt Flash early, in the form of like, Duress, Force of Will Days.
Sure.
And we can even get out a turn 1 Metal Mage with Chrome Mox if we have to.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he's been really good, because I've had opponents just like scoop to him, and,
wow.
And, yeah, and I mean, there's not too much that deals with him other than the swords, obviously, but it's one of those, it's another one of those like threats, basically, that that is a must kill, right? And that's what I want this deck to be full of. That way, anything I play,
they have to kill it.
Yeah, and eventually something's going to stick.
Yeah.
Like, whenever you play a Bob, it just dies right away. Like nobody wants a Bob to stick, right?
Right.
But when you have Shadow Mage too, it's like, it just makes it harder for them to be able to deal with all of your threats. That's why we like Shadow Mage.
I've talked to some people today who are talking about how Engineer Plague on Wizard seems to be really bad for this deck. Have you noticed that?
I haven't played against anything yet, but by adding the Shadow Mages, we made it actually even worse, because Shadow Mage is also a wizard.
I just looked at that and I was like, wow.
Yeah, and I haven't run into anything yet. I haven't run into any opponents that would, because actually today I played 3 Fish decks and a Goblin deck.
Wow.
So I mean, Goblins aren't going to have Engineer Plague, and Fish does, but they also have Wizards, so they're not going to bring in Engineer Plagues either. So yeah, I haven't come across any decks, but it's possible, for them to do that, and yeah, that could be a problem, But
all right, so let's take a look at the deck.
Sure.
As it is, and so your main differences from your standard Fish build would be the Infiltrators, which are fantastic.
Shadow Mages, Shackles.
Yep.
And instead of the Stifles, we decided to run 2 extra copies of Spell Snare Domain.
Cool.
It's because we figured with all the Fish in the format, we think Spell Snare is stronger against Fish, and it still serves a purpose in that it counters Flash, and there are a lot of 2-drops, and there are a lot of relevant 2-drops in the format that Spell Snare kills, so we have a couple in there.
Absolutely. So can I see your sideboard?
Sure. The sideboard is a little random. We just wanted to keep it, threat diversity, if you will. But
sure.
We have a 4th copy of Duress.
Okay.
A couple of Stifles on board. 4 ley lines for obvious reasons. Man of the Sea for the mirror, Explosives, Vindicate. Massacre is also for the mirror, because basically after Cyborg you become the control deck.
Yeah.
And you know, this is just a free spell basically.
Awesome.
And you know, you just slow roll your creatures, play Massacre, and
wipe
one
their team.
And one Maloka, because we figured if you can play it and it doesn't get sorted, it's actually, you know, one of the best cards to have in the matchup, because they just actually can't do anything to the Maloku. You know, and we have one because, you know, obviously with only 18 lands and 3 moxes, it's really hard to get them out. But the games tend to go long, and you know, we figured having one isn't all that bad.
Absolutely. Late game, I mean, you got
That's
nothing
right.
but mana.
I mean, you never want to have 2 in your opening hand,
Right.
but just to have one to, you know, it's a card basically you have to mice. You know, sometimes you get there, you know.
Absolutely.
Actually, a friend of mine, Luis Rodriguez, he's also playing this, and I've never gotten to use it yet, but he's told me he's already won like 2 or 3 games off of just, you know, getting the Maloka out there.
Wow.
You know, so, you know.
That's fantastic.
And Old Man of the Sea, I'm not sure why it's there. It's actually because Luis loves this card, and he's just like, okay, if I play Legacy, I really want to play this card. And so we have it in there, and we have it basically as like a 3rd and 4th Shackles.
Yeah.
It's obviously, it's not as strong because it can get killed easier.
Right.
But you know, we don't want to have like 4 Shackles in our deck, because not only is it, you know, mana intensive,
Right.
you know, there are versions of this deck that were in Pithing Needle. And you know, a Pithing Needle on Shackles when you have 3 in your hand can be pretty ugly. So
Yeah, that's kind of awkward. Well, I just noticed Sarah Avenger. She's just popped in there somewhere. Has she been all right for you today?
oh yeah, she's great. Like you know, in the mirror match, you know, she's a great evasion creature that they actually just they can't deal with unless, you know, once again they have swords.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's the best creature that carries a GTA basically, and you know, he's good for offense and defense. We don't want to have more than 2 because, you know, you don't want couple in your opening hand.
Yeah.
And you know, not be able to curve out. So, and also we're you know, already having trouble, like, you know, cutting things to make the entire main deck. So
Right.
you know, we have a couple in there because we wanted to up the creature count to 15. Because
Yeah.
at one point I think we had like 12 or 13. So
Oh, wow.
we have some GTs in here, so you know, we want to have at least around 50 creatures. So,
Yeah, something to stick it on. Absolutely. So has there been any MVP that surprised you today?
That surprised me.
I mean, I know
Well,
the infiltrators were obviously fantastic.
You know, this is all based on theory because I don't really get to do too much testing.
Yeah?
I actually came here a week early and spent the week at Tim Aiton's house for testing purposes. But all we ended up doing was, you know, shoot pool, draft. You know, we went to a theme park. You know, that's all we did, and I think we got in like a good 1 hour of testing total. So
Wow.
it was fun, you know. But you know, what card surprised me the most? I mean, basically every card in this deck served this function. The card that I've been least impressed with was Jotengrunt. I haven't played against any Threshold decks or Loam decks, but I mean, he just hasn't been all that impressive. I might have played like another Avenger or Shadow Mage or something. But I mean, you know, tomorrow might be different. I can be like, you know, I played 3 Threshold decks and this guy won by himself.
Absolutely.
But for now, yeah, this has been the least impressive. Everything else I have used, and Shadow Mages have been awesome.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how good they are,
Right.
but you know, every time you hit them, you feel so good. You know?
Absolutely. Every time he sticks, it's just such a wonderful
if you
feeling.
hit twice with him, you're just.
Oh my God, yeah.
Exactly.
For you to lose at that point is pretty low probability. Is there anything you're preparing for at the moment?
Actually, yes. I'm gonna be going back to. I'm gonna meet up with Luis because he's my two-headed giant partner. Okay. And we're gonna go up to Davis, do some practicing. Okay. We're gonna test for a month or whatever, how much time is left. And I think Antonino invited us to come like a week in advance or something to San Diego where he lives, so to do some more testing for two-headed giant. And, you know, that's definitely going to help us because you know, they have a nice network of players over there. So, yeah.
Well, that's great.
That's the one thing I'm focusing on, and you know, actually recently I haven't been playing as much, and I really want to, you know, focus more and, you know, try to do well. So yeah.
Well, thanks for your time, man.
All right, no
I really
problem.
appreciate it.
Yeah.